So my research is focused on, so I use agent-based modeling primarily, a little bit of discrete event simulation as well. Working on a number of projects and a number of different topics, but my core interest area is on supply chain modeling. So trying to incorporate the human element of supply chain decision making, supply chain flows into supply chain models. So, you know, kind of traditional models don't really, they kind of assume that, oh, okay, if we know what the optimal behavior ought to be, then people will do that. So we just need to find what the optimal behavior is, and then just that's the answer. But my experience in working in an industry and from working with other professionals is that that's not the case, and often that's because you have boundedly rational actors, you know, participating in the supply chain, and you know, not lack of complete information, poor communication, relationships, all of this, and so that's what I'm seeking to incorporate into simulation modeling.
So is your background in operations research?
So my degrees are all in industrial engineering, but yeah, I've been focused on you know, highly applied operations research, I guess.
So if you're doing agent-based models to that degree, then do you work with other like psychologists or sociologists to do the behavior part of it?
So that's a good question. So I've been working with my colleagues in human factors, who do work in that sort of thing. So one of my human factors colleagues, Stephen Gilbert, has a background in psychology, and then Michael Dornick does cognitive stuff, and so I've been working with them. I've also been working with a faculty member over in the business college at Iowa State he's interested in human behavior and supply chain. So yeah, partnering with people that have some knowledge has been very helpful.
Because I find that really fun about modeling and simulation, right? Like we always end up on these really multidisciplinary teams.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Yes.
So have you worked at all with high school students or middle school students?
Yeah.
So how do you get them interested and excited about modeling and simulation?
So that's a good question. Actually, the work that I've done with high school and middle school students has been with the Women in Science and Engineering program. And the stuff I've done with them has actually not been simulation related. It's been more just supply chain related, about making decisions about inventory and logistics, and that's been awesome. I'm actually this Friday going to be working with Boys and Girls Club, doing an activity with some middle school students where we actually are going to talk about simulation. So I haven't done that, but I'm looking forward to it. So I don't know how it's going to go. I'm really excited, but like, oh gosh, we'll see how this turns out.
Have you thought about what you're going to say to like sell simulation? Or do you think just like doing the hands-on problem solving will be enough?
So I'm going to try to relate it to problems that they're familiar with as much as I can. We're going to do an activity in addition to showing them the simulations, you know, so like the wolf and sheep predation model and that sort of thing, some things that they can easily understand, the underlying concepts. But do a little activity. This is the idea anyway, we'll see how this works, but break them into small groups and say, all right, we're going to try and solve a problem. And have each individual group work on a piece of the problem and not have any information sharing, and show the value of, you know, being able to communicate with one another, and then show some examples of a model that we built where there's social networks and how that influences. So I don't know, these are middle school students, so who knows how that's going to turn out, but we're gonna try.
So how do you get your college students who aren't yet into simulation, modeling simulation, like how do you get them excited about it?
That's a good question. So I teach systems engineering courses, and I have a lot of professional master students who are taking these courses. And the courses I'm teaching are actually not full-on simulation courses. There's just a module that's simulation related. And as far as getting them interested, honestly, they are just really excited about it. I mean, it turns out to be one of their favorite parts of the course. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah. No, they love it, and I get the most engagement out of my students from that section, emails with good questions. I had an off-campus student who ended up being so interested in it, saying, hey, I want to do a research project with you on that, and so we did, which was really cool. My grad students, getting them involved, usually they come to me and want to work with me because they want to do simulation modeling, and so getting them excited about it, it's usually not too hard.
So if you had to pick a pet, would it be a dog, a cat, or a robot?
A pet. Oh, well, I already have 4 cats. So
definitely cats then.
If I could have dogs too, I would definitely do that, but mixing them is just that's not going to happen. And robots, my husband does robot design, and so actually we've got robots as well.
So cats and robots.
Cats and robots.
You would just have them all.
Yeah, I would. I have a menagerie. It's just,
I think it's important to have a balance outside of work, though. I mean, we can. I don't know about you, but I can really get sucked into building a model and doing the simulations and experiments.
Sure.
And so it's good to have something that like reconnects me to real life.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, it's a problem when you start talking to people that are outside of modeling and simulation, and you're trying to, you know, talk about your model. They're talking about a problem in terms of a modeling framework, and they're looking at you like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know how many people's conversations I've come across, and I'm like, oh, I could model that. Like suddenly I'm zoned out because I'm like trying to figure out like what would the agents be and like what would their behaviors, how would they interact. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So, but you know, you're a professor and stuff. You can kind of get away with that expectation. You're going to be a little nerdy.
Yeah, I mean, we try to perform as if we're real people too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.